My parents called a family meeting. "You owe us for raising you," Dad said, handing me a bill. I thought it was a joke. Then Mom added, "Be grateful we're only charging you this much." So I pulled out my own invoice, and when they saw the total, their faces went pale. The family meeting was called on a Tuesday. I walked into my parents' dining room to find my older sister Claire already seated, looking smug. Dad sat at the head of the table with a manila folder, and Mom had that tight smile she uses when she's about to drop something unpleasant. "Thanks for coming, Jordan," Dad said, opening the folder. "We've been doing some calculations, and it's time we had an honest conversation about what you owe us." I laughed. "Owe you for what?" He slid a printed document across the table, an actual itemized bill. My name at the top like I was a client. I scanned the list, my smile fading with every line. Food and shelter, birth through age 18, $186,000. Private school tuition, $47,000. College contribution, $15,000. Car insurance, $8,400. Medical expenses, $12,000. Clothing and necessities, $23,000. The total at the bottom, $291,400. "You're kidding," I said, looking up. Nobody was laughing. Mom leaned forward. "Be grateful we're only charging you this much. We didn't even include emotional labor or the opportunities we sacrificed." Claire nodded. "I already paid mine. It's only fair, Jordan." I stared at my sister. "You paid them?" "Last year," she said proudly. "Took out a loan, but it felt right. Family shouldn't be one-sided." That's when it clicked. This wasn't a joke. They were serious. My parents had actually sat down, calculated the cost of raising me, and expected payment. Like I was some kind of investment that needed to mature. "This is insane," I said slowly. "You chose to have kids. That's not a loan. That's called parenting." Dad's face hardened. "We gave you everything. The least you can do is show some gratitude. Gratitude doesn't come with a price tag." Mom's voice went cold. "Maybe if you weren't so selfish, you'd understand what we sacrificed." I felt something shift inside me. All those years of being compared to Claire. All those times they'd chosen her dance recitals over my basketball games. All those comments about how I was the difficult child while she was the golden one. I reached into my bag and pulled out my own folder. I'd been documenting things for years, not for this exact moment, but because I'd learned to protect myself in this family. "Actually," I said, placing it on the table, "I have an invoice too." Dad frowned. "What?" I opened it to the first page. "Babysitting Claire every weekend from age 12 to 18 while you went to wine tastings. 6 years. Every Friday and Saturday night. That's 624 nights at $15 per hour, 8 hours per night. $74,880. Mom's face went pale. I flipped to the next page. "Lawn care and house maintenance from age 14 to 22. You had me doing landscaping, painting, repairs, everything you'd hire professionals for. Market rate for those services, $43,000. That's called chores." Dad snapped. "Not when you're running a business out of your house and I'm doing the labor that keeps it presentable for clients," I countered. Which brings me to this. 4 years of unpaid bookkeeping and administrative work for Dad's consulting firm during college. Market rate for a part-time bookkeeper, $28,000. Claire wasn't smiling anymore. "Then there's the emotional labor you mentioned, Mom. Mediating your fights. Being your therapist when Dad worked late. Covering for Claire's mistakes so she wouldn't get in trouble. Let's conservatively call that $20,000. I turned to the final page. My total, $165,880. Subtract that from your $291,400, and you owe me nothing. In fact, you still owe me $125,520. The silence was deafening. "This is ridiculous," Mom finally said, but her voice shook. "You're the one who taught me that family is transactional," I said, standing. "I'm just playing by your rules." Dad tried one more time. "We raised you, and I worked for you, for free, for years. The difference is, I never expected payment until you asked for it first." I walked to the door, then turned back. "I'm not paying your invoice, but if you want to discuss mine, my lawyer's information is on the last page." I left them sitting there, staring at papers that proved their love had always come with terms and conditions. 3 months later, they haven't called. Claire sends occasional texts about how I ruined everything, but I sleep better now than I have in years. Some debts aren't real, and some families aren't either.